Mr. Khare, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
So our topic is very interesting, and I know you have been in this line from lot many years. Financial inclusiveness and what is driving it is digitization. Uh, I'm sure everybody sitting here must be, having, doing their digital transactions, having access to your bank accounts on their phone. But in reality, if we talk about financial inclusion for a country like India, which is vast and diverse, are we on the right path? And has digitization really helped in financial inclusiveness in all these years?
So, thank you so much first for inviting me here, and thank you to the audience. It's a very, that we are into a world of having a very right choice of words. 1470 million population and a 500 million Jandhan account, right? Uh, as per the RBI data, 85% of Indians now above 18 have a bank account. So if you call that, have we got people into banking infrastructure? Maybe yes. But the question and beautiful word is maybe. Because only 45% of these are active. And the division between rural and the urban is the classic 70-30. And another division between men and women is a staggering 85-15. So what this says, is people have got into the system of understanding the value of money, but inclusiveness definition is to be defined by each one of us, right? And most importantly, what we are missing is the UPI wave that has happened. So if you say, are we on the right path? I believe yes. Are we really at a point where we say we have included people into financial ecosystem of India? We are still very far.
So how far are we? Actually, having a digital payment app in your mobile or access to a bank on your mobile does not mean that you have access to finances, right? And India being such a diverse country where urban population, as you said, the urban-rural divide is too much. I mean, if we want financial inclusion go the right way and happen on a nationwide basis, it's a long way to go.
Absolutely. We cannot say that we are there yet, anywhere there yet. But what we can definitely say is, with the kind of reach that digital has enabled, take an example of Jagran. The way Jagran has reached digitally, right? I was discussing with team here, and the numbers are staggering. Just see the YouTube channel, right? The reach, and with 2025 goal of 80% of the Indians having a fast internet connection, right, to stream, we will see these changes, right, with a 28.5-year average age Indians, right? We are going to see a huge change, and I see it as a tremendous opportunity for each one here, whether they are working or they are building their own business. But this is the best time to be alive in India and be into finance as a category, I believe.
Right, that's true. Talking about the financial infrastructure, digital financial infrastructure, I mean, startups have played a very crucial role. Fintechs are doing a brilliant job. But yes, policy measures, the policy initiatives for the government have been appropriate. Sometimes policy changes happen so fast, these fintechs face a problem. And we lately have seen one of the major ones facing such issues. So how do you think this infrastructure can be made a foolproof infrastructure so that we have access to financial services on a click of a button and access to the services?
So, it is the two sides of a coin that we say, right? Anything that becomes click of a button also is very open to a lot of challenges that happens, with the scams being at all-time high and money being a very fundamental thread of life. What we are really not seeing from the global level is, I believe the RBI and the government of India initiatives are staggering way ahead of any other country's initiative on the finance bit, right? We have built UPI. UPI is going to different countries. It's crazy when people say they don't have UPI, right? The sad part of it is, I will give you an example from a person from Rishikesh, and he said, I opened a dosa center and I am not making profit, and the top line is 3 lakh rupees. And I said, how is it possible that you are at 3 lakh rupees, but you are not making a single profit and I am not able to sustain? He said, because I have to take every payment digitally. So I have to pay taxes digitally. And nobody is ready to give me money on cash, because cash he could take away from his books. So the reality is, the moment it comes, because people say cash nahi hai. Let's be honest about what is happening at that panthela or that parchun ki dukan. The guy is saying, here is the QR code. No, he is saying, the customer is saying, QR code dena. Right? So the moment you start asking QR code dena, you come into this ecosystem, but it's very hard to make money when you are in that ecosystem. So that is a transition phase, and it will happen across. So when infrastructure comes, it's like the same problem that we have to avoid, like the China's ghost towns. So to pump up the market, and you are well versed, ma'am, right? To pump up the market, they created, ghost towns. Now there are nobody to move there, right? Same is going to happen. So we have to build infrastructure which people would want to use, like an example of UPI. People really want to use UPI. The limits have just got to 5 lakh rupees from 1 lakh, right? Which is a very interesting take. But then the other part is, there's those transactions, when they start happening onto the investment domain, how the KYC will be managed. If you see, KYC is a mess right now, the infrastructure. So there are some very intelligent and interesting people who are building for India, right? And I see that this infrastructure challenge will remain for some time, but we are on the path.
You just spoke about, paying taxes on the digital payments that you make. That one thing is really working for us with the, unorganized sector coming on, becoming an organized and functioning in an organized manner. But yes, coming under the GST ambit is something that government would like to do, because they want the revenues to come and they want to, work on the infrastructure of the company. That's true. But if we talk about the digital payments, on a click of a button, you have some major challenges over there. Your data privacy is a major challenge. One-on-one interaction when you go to the bank and say that, okay, I want to do this, you have that some kind of a support system there. You feel, yeah, this guy is okay, based on his recommendation, I should do this. But digital mein aisa kuch nahi hai. There's no face off. There's something that you have to click and you have to buy on this. How do you see this? And data privacy is something which is a big question mark.
So, obviously, for a brand, I will take a parallel example from a different category, phones. Imagine Apple, the world's best brand in town, and probably after Nvidia took over, they were the best. Talk about their whole brand positioning from being simple devices to data privacy and protection. It is so important, right? And with the technology like blockchain and all coming in, these will get solved. But we are far away until the data protection bill comes into place, right? We need that. And we need that until the time we have a very well-crafted data protection bill, we will get a hit. I can say from behalf of Bajaj Capital, we will get a hit, right? But it is necessary part of building for India or building for Bharat. Because, you see, if you want to tell for 500 million bank account holders of Jan Dhan, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana that, start doing some transaction through your platform, you need to protect their privacy and ensure that their money will not get lost and have a robust system. you know, and if we actually see, RBI has some phenomenal sandbox options right now available, right, for doing these things, and KYC norms are done. But there is one fundamental problem which nobody talks, and I can say that here. We need to figure out a way to keep the teams who are building in these companies or these places intact.
But how do you expect government to intervene in corporate actions?
Very interesting. So, what are we building? So, government and probably what banks have realized now to partner with fintechs, right? You see, many of you would have a one metal card, right? And I'm taking an example of a brand, right? Because it's so simple to just get that credit card. And all offs on Swiggy and Zomato are there. I will give you an example. We do SIP in India, right, as Bajaj Capital Systematic Investment Plan. You know who is my competitor? Swiggy and Zomato. Because my guy is not doing 500 rupees SIP, but he's ready to give 500 rupees to Zomato today for the order. I tell him month में एक बार 500 रुपए की सिप कर दे, नहीं करेगा. But वो weekend में 1000 rupees की बिरयानी फेस्ट में spend कर देगा. So my competition in category in finance has to go beyond this ambit of my competition is this. Actually, the competition is spending. And India's GDP, if you compare with China, China has had 4 decades of 9% growth rate. We are at 6% and very happy in this decade that we are 6%. We are far from China.
Now 7.2.
Right, not 7.2. Your latest tweet also, right? So if we are there, right, we need decades of investment, and our investment is our growth story is because of consumption. We have to understand our growth story is different. We cannot copy a model. So that's why India's data protection will become key. But what will also become very key is partnership, right? Maybe it's time that government and corporate. So it is said that government has no business in building business, right? But maybe government will have business to protect the interest of business for the growth of the country. And we will have to see those norms, right, coming in.
So you want to say that traditional bankers need to join hand with fintech companies to make process easy?
They are doing it. 85% of traditional banks now are with fintechs. In fact, there is a whole philosophy that is going on that let's invest in fintech, let them build, because our system don't work the way we want them to work, because there are a lot of layers. We are Cat 1 merchant and there are a lot of rules by RBI. Fintechs have an easy sandbox. Let them build up to a level and then buy it, right? One of the key things, we all may be an HDFC Bank user. And how many of you love the UI UX of HDFC Bank? Nobody, right? So if they just tomorrow go and buy cred, imagine just buy cred, yaar, khatam. From tomorrow you have the brilliant UI UX, and HDFC Bank is giving me $1 trillion, probably everybody's portfolio, if not direct stocks, but mutual fund will have heavy weightage on HDFC. There is no way we can live without it.
True, very true. मुझे याद है वो समय जब बजाज कैपिटल में जाके आपकी कंपनी में जाके एक फॉर्म भरना पड़ता था फॉर अ सिप और अ म्यूचुअल फंड बाय और अ इंश्योरेंस प्रोडक्ट बाय. But things have changed now. It's all digital. On digital platform, you can buy anything from stock to insurance to anything. An FD in a bank, you can do digitally. So how have things changed? And do you think awareness is something which is needs to be pushed? Because बहुत लोगों को सब कुछ पता नहीं है डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में. उनको ये नहीं पता कि अगर आपको शेयर खरीदना है तो कैसे खरीदना है, या आपको म्यूचुअल फंड की सिप करनी है तो कैसे करनी है. So making people aware is very critical. Do you think so?
So absolutely, right at where the money is. Financial awareness is something that every bank, finance companies have to do it. We have seen that evolution happening, and under the vision of Mr. Sanjeev Bajaj, right, we are building financial prosperity for India, right? A tool where people will understand why they need to have financial prosperity. And it's not just for, people who are not into financial ecosystem. In fact, for people here, I will give you a very simple example for you to think. please go and check in your health insurance policy, do you have air ambulance added? You will be surprised by just paying 200 rupees. You can add air ambulance. So if you go for trek, if you go for any trip, and you are anywhere caught, right, God forbid, you will get air ambulance service without paying a single penny, which is 7 lakh rupees. And it comes at only 200 rupees. And the smartest of the people do not know this. So, and I'm just talking one aspect of insurance, right? There are processes like SIP, right, which has been there. Now we are talking about SWP. So, for people awareness, everybody is at different level.
Talking about AI,
Yes.
the future is AI. So how do you see AI being incorporated in bringing financial inclusion in India, a country like India?
So I will make a statement which might not be very, very gulpable, but I don't think future is AI. That future has already happened. Right? AI is already part of our life. If I may really request, if you do not have a Chat GPT or a Gemini installed on your phone, you are away. Right? You should not be crafting. In fact, Meta has already added it on your WhatsApp account on top. Nobody is using it. That's a different problem of UI UX, right, of Meta. The future is, and if I may say this, you will have the next revolution of phone are not going to happen because phones have reached their peak. It's like, commodity now. We will have glasses, and we are talking about money operating system as life. So if ma'am sees a new Gucci bag, you will automatically get a message that you are able to afford this in 3 installments by changing this SIP of yours to this SIP and can give 12% return in 3 months.
Will that happen?
Yeah, that is the future that we should really say is the future. So we will be governed by a money operating system, and we will know, and it will be health operating system and a money operating system. Right? So our longevity will increase. We are anyway from a 69.2 average age. From 62, we are already at 69.2. And probably we will never die, right? This generation may never die. We will continue to live for endless time. Very interesting for you if you see, if you read the book of Morgan Housel of Same as Ever, right? You will see what things have not remained same, what things have remained same. It is actually everybody trying to live longest and fittest and look better, right? So these fundamental things will not change. Anything where AI helps you achieve this, right, will happen. Ma'am, see, did anybody taught Indians or Bharat to use YouTube?
No.
Did somebody had to do a financial or a technology awareness program? What are we talking? We have to make it so easy, right? If I see a necklace, I should be able to know that I can't afford this for my wife. Because if I buy this, I will miss the Harvard plan for my daughter, who is a 5-year-old right now. In 15 years, when she goes for an Harvard, the fees will be 18 crores. So do I need to do this or this? So all we will have, AI, an individual, will be to make choices in life, and we will be known by the choices we make. And our life will be like this. And that's what is going to happen.
But what happens to privacy then?
Absolutely. Doordarshan has launched a new AI anchors, whose name are Krish and Bhumi, and they are speaking in 50 different languages. And Agricultural Department of Government of India have launched them. And they are giving you all the information. Remember that aloo ki kheti kaise ho in DD1, which we used to get in our older times? Krishi Darshan, right? That is actually with Krish and Bhumi happening right now. So AI will, it's such an interesting time. We should be jumping in joy, but the privacy remains.
Yes.
So you will have your own personal AI bot.
Okay.
Who will guide you whether you should eat this or not, spend this or not, and say this or not.
But again, that is for, your A class and B class people. What about the grassroots level in India?
I again say, ma'am, that we think that, phones, the way phone have reached to people, it is aspiration. right? People want to, we are status seeking monkeys as a human race, and we will remain that. We will seek status as a category, and we will bring them. What will be required is for a SEC or a Bharat or D, including them into the ecosystem with the right intent, where scam cannot happen, right? Is the critical part. You know, stock tips, a Telegram channel. Telegram has become a stock tip tool. There is nothing like this, and it's a typical AB scam. 50 people you send that this is stock will go, 50 people you say this, do 3 chain and then sell them a 99 rupees course. And anyway, you will be profitable. So this is how people will use technology, and the role will be for each one of us. Why are we saying government? It's government's role. It is actually each one of us role if we are not starting it with our people around us.
Tell me 3 major challenges that we need to keep in mind when we talk about digitization and financial inclusion.
First challenge that we have always talked is data, and knowing what should be necessary to be taken. That is going to be a challenge in our ecosystem, with a lot of corporate banks being still there and their APIs are not stable. I have a continuous problem when my business heads keep saying कि 2 बजे के बाद NAV लगा नहीं उसका mutual fund में, very back end kind of structure, you will understand. But the APIs doesn't work, right? You don't get it, right? So that remains a very structure. Second thing that is going to be there is structured caring of an individual's life. You know, people investing in a high risk return stock market, but not buying an insurance. Now, how do we change it? Insurance is most important, right? A health insurance, say for example, or a life insurance, even if you leave life insurance, a health insurance for their families. But people are trying to do a stock more importantly rather than having this. So telling them that awareness, that solve the basic layer of life, do the foundation. So because of the speed, we have not solved the ABC, but we are asking them to write sentence. And that's the problem that I see. And third I see, which we probably cannot solve, I don't know how to solve, is intent of business. Profitability over prosperity, right? So are we businessmen or are we industrialists? A very famous quote from Mr. Ratan Tata that I build because I am an industrialist, right? So more and more people with the intent of prospering the nation rather than making profit right now, right, is going to be a challenge for us.
You are the digital head of Bajaj Capital. So what are your strategies that you're working with lately?
So what we have very clearly focused is financial prosperity as our core goal. We believe being a 60-year into India and gone through 3 wars, 6 decades, and building probably the highest amount of crore-patis in India by compound interest, I can say, right? So anybody can tell you that this stock will make 2x, but that's not what we do. We tell that don't start to time the market, spend time in the market. Let your money spend time in the market. So the number one strategy is to tell people 12% के ऊपर कोई रिकॉर्ड बोल रहा है कि मिलेगा तो उसको फाइन लगना चाहिए, right? 8%, 10% return is very good, but get that into the ecosystem of time, right? Give time to money and solve for the infrastructure of your life of base, right? That's necessary, and that's the challenge, that we have to do it digitally rather than one-on-one, right? That's the challenge.
Thank you, Mr. Khare, for such an insightful talk.